Folks, one of the things that I love to do is interact to other videos. Mr. Millennial Mike goes out and scours and sometimes takes recommendations from the audience on things I need to react to. So what do we got this time? Who am I reacting to and what are we talking about?
Yeah, so this was another short form content video that was sent to me on Instagram, and it's from a guy who's given some advice that I feel like I've heard before. So, Mike, we want to hear what you think of what he's saying. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there any points of contention? And we'll move from there. So, if you're ready, we'll jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Buy 10 rental houses before you're 30 years old. If you can buy 10 rental houses before you're 30 and you own those 10 rental houses at the age of 30 and you don't buy another piece of real estate for the next 25 years, when you're 55, more than likely, all of those properties are going to be paid for. And if, let's just say you still have a balance on all 10 because you put them on 30-year notes, you can sell off more than likely 2 or 3 and pay the rest off. So now you're sitting there with 7 homes paid for that you have tenants in and you have cash flow coming in every month. So think about that. If you literally had 7 rental properties making you $2,000 a month, that's $14,000 a month. That's called financial freedom.
All right, Mike, what do you think?
I'm a fan. You know, I talk about getting to 4. Once you get to 4, you can talk about 10, but the idea is exactly the same. You know, if you get to 4 properties, you know, whether it's by 30 or by 40 or whatever the number is, you just hold those for multiple decades. You have options, right? You get to the end. In his example, you sell 3 to pay off 7. Great. You could also refi 3 and pay off 7.
Right.
You can sell 1 to pay for college. I mean, there's so many options. Do the work, cash flow day 1, 30-year fixed rate debt. Don't get trapped in these get rich quick nonsense. And yeah, I bless that strategy. I do think it's kind of funny that he get to 10 rentals by 30.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even start till I was 30, so you know, I failed at that. But again, I think everybody should at least get 4, because it gives you so many options. And he's right, that is freedom. And again, even if you get to the end of the game, you know, 65, you take Social Security, assuming it's still there. I got to tell you, having 4 free and clear rentals, you are going to have some options for your next 30 years, which is pretty awesome. So I'm a fan. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, and I forgot what his name was, unfortunately. I'll have to look it up again later. What I absolutely love a strategy. Getting to 10 is something I've heard you talk about. We've talked about it on my channel together. The only thing I didn't like was the buy 30, because I thought about when I went to your in live person event that you had in November last year. I feel like the average age in there was probably 35 to 45. And I had a number of people who reached out to me and still reach out to me currently and say, oh, I'm just so old. I'm starting late and all these stuff. And I'm like, that's the wrong mindset. You're starting. You're not too old. It's never too late. There are some crazy freaks out there like Cody and Christian that make us all feel bad about ourselves. And we love them. But there's nothing wrong with getting started at 40. Like Dion never had $1,000 in his bank till he was 40. People, it's always a good day to buy a great deal. It's always a good age to get started.
Yeah, and again, I'm glad you keyed on that, because that was again, the 30 bothered me, as I said, and the 10 bothered me. You know, get to 4. You're 40 years old, get to 4. You're 45, you're 50, get to 4. It doesn't matter, right? I get asked all the time, is there an age where you can't start, right? It's just too late. What I've always told people is, if you've been diagnosed with a terminal illness and you've been told you had less than 2 or 3 years to live, screw it. Don't do real estate. Go do it. But outside of that,
right?
If you really think you have 10 years of life left, get started. It's that simple.
Right. Well, Mike, that was all I had for that one. We got a couple other videos to react to. We'll see you in those next.
Thank you, buddy.